Right, I'm here with JJ Brown today from, of course, the notorious Fight Band. One of my favourite bands, being a big fan of Judas Priest and Rob Halford, of course. I've always followed Rob's different projects, and Fight was one that always, really stuck out for me. Always loved the War of Words album, and particularly the Demos album is one I really loved the rawness and all the songs on that were really fantastic. So I just really happy to have you here with me, and thought we'd talk a little bit about the Fight Days and what you've got going on at the moment. And yeah, thanks for coming on the channel. I appreciate it. So
Definitely.
I thought I'd just start with from the start. How was it working with Rob? What was your memories of getting that gig and those first kind of times meeting him and getting in the studio? What happened there?
Well, I met Rob at the tattoo shop I worked at out in Phoenix, and he liked my work, so I started doing work on him, and we just kind of became friends. And he went and seen my band play Cyanide, you know, and he ended up, when he ended up asking me and Brian, you know, it was a it was a pretty big surprise, because I didn't know nothing about him doing anything else besides Priest. Uh, and I mean, yeah, I was ecstatic, being a young kid into metal.
Of course, of course. I mean, it must have been just surreal kind of getting that call. Like you say, Robert only ever, he seems so dedicated to Priest, and obviously he shows to this day, he still is. But it's one of those things you wouldn't think he'd branch off and try something different and kind of start again in a way. To me, I feel he found the perfect bandmates. Obviously, Russ, who carried on to do Steel Panther as well. And Scott was stayed in from Priest. He carried on with Fight, which was really cool. So you had a real dynamic band, and a young band as well. You guys were a lot younger than Rob at the time, weren't you? So you were bringing that energy and that kind of aggression and everything Rob was, I think, trying to say with that band. He had the perfect band behind him to do it, particularly poignant time in his career. I think out of all of the branched off things he did, I think Fight is the one, particularly for me, that stuck with me. And just the songs were so raw and powerful. I don't think even Priest, I don't think have done such powerful songs as some of the Fight ones, that happen. Into the Pit is a particular favorite of mine, and all those songs, War of Words, all the very powerful kind of blistering high notes. It was kind of a contrast, and obviously with your growls on songs like Contortion and different songs like that, you really brought a lot of power, I think, behind Rob, which was really cool because I guess being the 90s, I guess metal was changing a bit, the evolution from the 80s. The sound was kind of starting to change, and you had bands like Pantera coming in, didn't you? And I remember you did Devil's Child with Sebastian Bach, didn't you?
Yeah, that was cool. Sebastian would always come up and sing with us anytime we came through New York, uh,
Wow.
New York, New Jersey area. He would always come out and sing a
Brilliant.
song or two with us.
Yeah, he loved the fight stuff, didn't he? You could tell he really, yeah, he really got on with you guys. For the writing sessions, when you were actually in the studio with Rob, is there anything you remember that process? What aspect of the songwriting did you get involved in, and how did you find it? Kind of just working close with Rob in that time.
We just like for the first album, we were in a studio in Phoenix, just kind of going through the demos that Rob had put together of rough songs,
Cool.
and then we kind of worked on those, which became the album.
Did he have some melodies kind of worked out, and you kind of guys just come together to create that sound kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah, he had a bunch of ideas on tapes that he had been working on, and then we kind of just went through them and kind of picked out what we liked and what we thought was cool and worked on it.
Was it quite full on writing sessions and recording at the time, or was it quite a fast pace? You had all the ideas and you went with it, or was it quite a long process, kind of putting it all together?
No, it went pretty quick.
Yeah.
With going in the studio and then going through the stuff, working on it, writing it, and then we went to Amsterdam to record it.
God, you must have had some fun out there. It must have been pretty crazy times, I imagine, between the record.
Yeah. That's the one video of me at the Pantera show there where I passed out. I slept through the whole show.
Oh no, I remember that now. Yeah. Oh, that was pretty wild. Yeah. I guess Amsterdam isn't the place to go if you don't want to have a bit of fun,
Russ left me there.
Oh no! And how was it working
with? He's like, I'm not dealing with this fucking idiot. I'm out of here.
Oh no! God.
He's passed out, covered in puke.
Yeah, not a good look. That.
Yeah.
And how was it working alongside Russ? Did you guys find it quite natural working together? So I guess were you guys from all over the place? Were you all from different places and stuff?
No, we were from different places. Yeah, we had fun. It was funny because Russ would be like, "Stay on your fucking side of the stage," because I'd run all over the fucking place.
Oh yeah,
he's like, Jesus fucking Christ, just stay on your side, man. I'm like, sorry, man.
I can imagine in the moment it must be quite difficult to yeah.
Oh yeah, back then I was young and I was a nut.
Yeah, I think you were one of the biggest personalities. It's not very often a kind of solo project you focus on the band members. I guess sometimes the band members just there to do their job for the singer. But with you're like one of the big characters that stood out in that band. You kind of you wait for your growl sections and you wait for your personality, and you kind of you brought everything I feel like Rob was trying to envision with that band. You kind of somehow, solidated, or whatever the word is, with the exact personality that seemed to need to be there, and your voice really complemented Rob's really well with the power and it added that extra kind of rawness and power that I think Rob needed at that time and was looking for. So yeah, I mean that was something for me. I feel Fight needed that, so yeah, props to you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've had a couple other people that have come up to me, and said they had seen me play, and that I had inspired them, to play, and I'm like, wow, that's a huge compliment, thanks.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I don't think of that stuff. I'm just, doing my things,
Oh no, you're so damn wicked. You got me by the throat. Oh no, you got your clothes stuck in me. You never let me go. I believe you're the devil. I believe you're the devil's child. I believe you're the devil. I believe you're the devil's child.
Into the pit.
Fight into the pit.
Oh, there we go. some noise for us. Get the fuck out of here.
I'll tell you what, if you were bald, it would have been just like being next to Rob Halford.
Dude, I manage Metal Mad now, so if you guys want him for your band, call me.